Okay, so let me come again. Okay, so as we have completed lesson number 12, right? In this lesson, in the lesson number 12, we came to know about router, right? The devices which is used for routing. Okay, and the benefits of the router is helping you to connect two different network. Router is helping you to forward your data packet from one network to another network, right? Now in this module 13 we are going to know about router basic commands. Okay, means whenever you have your router, then how you're going to configure your router. Okay, so these are the modules, these are some topics what we are going to cover in this lesson. So here we have router connectivity process. So router connectivity process is what? Here is saying that router connectivity process means if you have router here with you, then how you are going to connect your router with your device to configure it. Device means what? Means your with your laptop, with your desktop to configure the device. Okay. Now, so for configuring router with your laptop or with your desktop, you need cable which is known as console cable, and the port is console RJ45, and it will be connecting to router console port. So here you can see we have one router here. Okay, so this router has two interface. One is E0 by 0 and second one is console 0. So E0 by 0, the device what the port what we have here. So this port will be used for communication purpose, and this console 0 will be used for configuration purpose. Okay, this is for configuration purpose and this is for used for communication purpose. Okay, now as I told you in that router do not have a screen. Okay, so you cannot see what is happening inside the router. So when you want to see what is happening inside the router, you need a screen, and who which so your laptop, your desktop will provide you the screen, right? So you have to connect this console port to your router, sorry, to your desktop or to your laptop to have the screen. Okay, but yes, you have the screen, but which software will connect your laptop to the Cisco iOS? So there are some software which or applications which will be helping you to connect your system to Cisco iOS. These are hyper terminal and putty, you can say secure CRT, Teradum, super putty. But in our class we will be using secure putty, sorry, secure CRT. You can use anyone. The settings is same. Okay, unless we have to work on Cisco iOS. Okay, so this is just a medium to connect to Cisco iOS for configuration. So this is the example of the secure CRT application, which is giving you the Cisco router iOS output. Okay. Now here you can see I told you that Cisco router or Cisco switch is divided into three sections. Okay, which is known as user mode, privilege mode, and global configuration mode. Means whenever you want to configure the router or configure the switch, it has modes. Means in which mode you what you can do, which action you can perform. Okay, so when you have user mode, so in user mode you can only get the basic information of the router. Okay, or basic information of the router, you can say. In privilege mode you can get the full details of the router or full details of the switch with monitoring facilities, that okay, you can debug the router. Okay, means you can get the information which is running inside the router, and you can delete the configuration of the router, which is maybe if you did some misconfiguration in the devices. So with the help of this privilege mode you can erase the configuration. Okay, you can reboot the router also. But in this mode, in this user mode, you cannot delete, you cannot erase, or you cannot reboot. Okay, but okay, now when I want to configure the router, so when you want to configure something in the router like routing or some other kind of configuration interface IP or something, then you have to move to global configuration. In this global configuration, you have to configure the router. But once you configure, then you have to move to your this privilege mode to save the configuration. Okay, so you can only find this three mode in the router. This is the main three modes. Okay, after that you will find some sub mode. We will see some sub modes later on. Okay, so this is just same example. In the user mode, you can only get the limited information. In privilege mode, you can have more information than user mode. But here, what you can do, you can get some monitoring commands. You can monitor your router. You can save the configuration of the router. You can delete the configuration of the router. Okay, and here in the configuration mode, you can configure the routers. After that, I told you we can get some sub mode. See, this is the sub mode. After config if is there, this is config router is there, this is config line is there. So these are sub mode, but this sub mode will come after configuration mode. Okay, so sub mode is also configuration. Okay, so how you will know that you are on which mode? You can see here, this is the sign of the modes. Okay, so always keep in mind, when you see greater sign, then you can see you are in the privilege mode. When you see name of the device and hash, means you are in the privilege mode. And when you see something config or something of hash, then you are in your configuration mode. So now whenever you will boot your router, when you will start your router, so there are some process to reach from one mode to another mode. So whenever you will start your router, you will come automatically to user mode. Okay, so after user mode, you have to move to privilege mode. You cannot directly jump from one mode to like user mode to global configuration mode. So first of all, when you will come to your user mode, you have to type enable command to move from one mode to another mode. So which command you have to type? Enable to move from privilege user mode to privilege mode. And then from privilege mode to configuration mode, you have to type configure terminal. So when you will type configure terminal, you will move from privilege mode to global configuration mode. Okay, and these are some sub modes. So once you will configure your router, you will come to know about these sub modes depending on your configuration. And now again, when you want to exit, so you can, there are some commands you can type exit to. When you will type exit, you will move from configuration mode to privilege mode. Again, if you will type exit, you will move from privilege mode to user mode. And there are some shortcut command also. You can type end also, or you can type control Z. Okay, okay, so some more information on the modes. Now when you will start your router, so let's have some details on this router. Okay, so there are some practical things here, so let's have the practical session. Let me start some basic booting process of the router. Okay, so suppose I'm taking one router here, and let's start this router. If you will start this router, you have to come to CLI, which is console mode of the router. Okay, now once here you will get something like continue with the configuration dialog. So if I will click yes, right, and why we are getting this system configuration dialog, right, when your NVRAM is blank. So here you can see here it's written here. Okay, when your NV, you will get this option system configuration dialog. When you will get this option, when your NVRAM is blank, means your router is new, nothing is configured in your router. Okay, But if something is configured in your router, you will directly get this mode. Okay, and if you want to see, let me show you. Okay, so if I will select this continue with the configuration dialog, right, means it will run as per Cisco template, means configure this, means you have to go as per Cisco instruction, that okay, first you configure the name of the router, then after that configure the password of the router, then you configure the IP address of the router. So you have to follow the templates of the Cisco router. But I'll say no, I don't want to follow your instruction. I'll configure as per my own, and enter. See, you are getting this router here. Okay, this is the user mode. Okay, and if you will configure something, right, suppose I configured here, like let me come here, enable conf t, I'll configure host name like gamtel router 1. Okay, see, I have configured it, right? But if I configured it but I haven't saved it, so what will happen? Okay, so what I did here, I configured it but I haven't saved it. So what will happen? So if I restarted by mistake, okay, all the configuration will be lost. See here, I restarted. See, again it is coming like that, and if I'm clicking here, see the name which I have given there, it's not there. So I told you that whenever you configure something, you must save it. So I'll go to configure terminal. I came to my configuration, global configuration mode, and then here if I'm typing host name gamtel router 1, enter, and then exit to come to privilege mode again, and then here you have to type right. Okay, see, the configuration is saved, and now if you are restarting it, okay, so restarting, reload command is also there, or you can, sorry, reload. Okay, okay, now you can see here name is still there, right? That gamtel router 1 means the configuration is saved, whatever you have configured. And why it is saved? Because you have saved like with the help of this command, right? Okay, now let's move to another session. Now here, okay, now I told you that user mode is used for basic monitoring purpose. Privilege mode is used for full monitoring and troubleshooting of the router. Okay, because when you want to troubleshoot the or monitor the router, you can only monitor with the help of privilege mode, not with the configuration mode. And whenever you want to configure the router, you have to configure with the help of configuration mode, and configuration modes look like this. Okay, now these are some sub mode which is known as interface mode or some router mode, line mode, like that. Okay, so when you will start configuring the router one by one, you will be knowing about some sub interface mode. After config, if any mode is coming after dash, those are sub interface or sub mode, you can say. This is Roman mode. This mode, see here, it is totally different than this router mode. Okay, this is used for retrieving the password. Maybe if you forget something, okay, or forget the router password. Maybe you have given some password on the router and you forget the password of the router. So in that case, this Roman mode will be helping you for troubleshooting it. Okay, this that one was a user mode. Okay, now this one is your privilege mode, and this is your global configuration mode. This is your sub mode. See how it is look. If you'll see this kind of router and greater sign means that is user mode. When you see router hash or any name, not only router, maybe I have given right now Gamtel router 1 and hash, so that is privilege mode. Okay, and it is also known as enable mode. When you see router config hash means that is known as global configuration mode, and when you see after config something like that, those are known as sub configuration mode. Okay, and there are multiple sub configuration modes. Okay, so here when I booted the router, I have shown you here that when you see this option system configuration dialog. Okay, so if your router is new and there is no configuration file or nothing is saved in your router, then in that case you will get this system configuration dialog. Okay, now let us know how to use user mode and get some details of the router. Okay, so let's come to this router. So first of all, you can, if you want, let me come here exit. Now you are in the user mode, and here if you type here show version. Okay. So version is helping you to get the detail of your router iOS version. Okay, means which type of iOS version you are using. Okay, so I'm using 12.3 version. Sorry, 12.4. Okay, this is my, and this is my router name. It's coming from 1800 series, means it is used for access mode. Okay, remember I told you that we have access mode, distribution, sorry, access layer, distribution layer, and core layer. So this will be used in our access layer. Okay, but I'm just showing you this one because we will be working on DNS, not on packet tracer. I'm just showing you some few things. Then here you can see, type here, so flash means in the flash memory, which type of, this is your operating system. Okay, means here, and the size of your operating system, same like your C drive in Windows. Okay, now here if you'll type some kind of information that so IP interface brief. Okay, so when you will type this command, so in this you will know, you'll come to know that okay, how many interface you have and what are the IP address configured on the interfaces. So right now nothing is configured here. Okay, but we came to know okay, how many interface we have and what is the status of the interface, whether it is up or down. So when you will type this command show IP interface brief. Okay, see, interface is the main thing. Means if your router is interface is down, means your entire network connectivity will be down. Why? Because you will not be in the touch of network if the interface is down. So this command will help you to get the interface details or interface status. Okay, not detail. For detail, if you want to know the detail of that interface, then you have to type another command like so interface f0 by 0 like that. Okay, so this command will help you to get the full detail of the interface, that okay, what is the MAC address of that interface, which type of bandwidth. The bandwidth means it's 100 mbps because it's a fast ethernet. Okay, which type of encapsulation it is running there. Okay, from how long this this interface is up, down, do that interface has any error or something like that. See, input error, output error, like that. Okay. Okay. So now if I'm talking about the configuration of the router, okay, so let's have some small configuration. So let's take two router only. We took two routers and let's connect these two routers here with the help of fast Ethernet port. So here also it's fast Ethernet 0 by 0, and here also it's fast Ethernet 0 by 0. And the IP address what we are using, for example, I'm using here 1.1.1/24. And here also I'm using 1.1.1.2/24. Okay. So let's come to this router. So first come here to enable, then come here to config to come to your configuration mode, and then type here interface F0 by 0 means fast Ethernet 0 by 0. Then here IP address 1.1.1.1. If you want, you can type full also IP address, or you can use short name 0, and then no shutdown. No shutdown means no. By default, the interface is in shut mode. You can see here it is in shut mode, and no shutdown means enabled. Shutdown means disable. No shutdown means enabled. Okay. See, the interface port is up now. You can see here the state is up. Now you come here to this router, and same here also you can use the same command because we are just configuring the interface. So come to CLI, no, enable conf. Here we are going to write gamtel router 2 host name gamtel router 2. Okay, interface F0 by 0, IP address 1.1.1.2, no shut. Now see, you can see the port is up now. If you want, you can save. Okay, see here I was here on this interface mode, and I just press Ctrl Z to come directly to the privilege mode, and after that privilege mode I just wrote the write command to save the configuration. And now we are checking the ping command. So you just come to the router which is your gamtel router 2. You can simply come here and type ping 1.1.1.1. You can see they are communicating, right? So ping command you can write from user mode also, ping 1.1.1.1. See, okay, ping command you can write from enable from your privilege mode also, but when you are coming to conf t to your global configuration mode, and if you will type this command ping, see, it is wrong command. But so if you want to ping again, you have to come to privilege mode. So but you do not want to come to privilege mode because you have to configure something. So in that case, what you can type, you can just type do and the command which is used in privilege mode. Like see, now you can use the privilege mode command on global configuration mode with the help of do. Okay. Now we have some other commands like trace route. Okay. You can see here trace route will show you how your packet is moving from one location to another location. But here you cannot get the full details of this trace route because here you have only one hop. But when you have a large network connectivity, in that case you will know the exact detail of trace route. Okay, but here with the help of my own system, let me open my command prompt. Pressured google.com. See, Cisco devices and Linux devices, they use trace route, okay, to trace the packet movement, okay, that how it is moving from source to destination, how many hops the packet is crossing. And in the Microsoft system, in Windows system, you have to write tracer, not trace route, okay. And see, it's showing you how it is moving. So first it has gone to my gateway, then it will move to another, like that it will move, okay. So here are some other details, but I think this will not help you, but let me show you. Show file system. So this is helping you to know the iOS file of your system, that okay, what is the memory of your memory capacity of your flash memory, what is the your NVRAM capacity, like this, okay. See, right now it's a beginning level, so this will not help you, but why we need to know this one? Because when we are configuring something in our organization, we need to know that okay, do this router will handle those loads. It's not that you just come and write the command of configuration on any system or any router like that, okay. And here we have some kind of command, so processes, okay. So processes means, so processes command is not there. See, this will show processes mean this will give you your CPU utilization, means whether your CPU is like in our system we run like that, right click task manager, and we see our CPU performance, right, performance of our CPU. So in our router also, we can easily come here and we can check our CPU performance with the help of so processes command, okay. But when we have GNS, we have more commands, because this is packet tracer, it shows only limited information, okay. Now if you type here one more command like so, the see info, it's not coming. So if you type this command, so memory, okay, so it will give you the RAM detail, okay. So let's work on GNS instead of working on packet tracer, because you will not get lots of detail, okay. Let me create test. Okay, and let me take one router here. One router and second router. Just use this Ethernet connectivity, Ethernet 0x0. Guys, I hope you know about how to use this GNS3. If not that, when we will have our next session, in the next session, I will let you know how to use this GNS application. Okay, so here we are using one IP address which is related to this one. So this subnet plus on our router, take the console of the router, So this is our router one. See, each when your router will boot, you will get the details of the router, that how many interface you have and what is your NVRAM size and your RAM size as well. If not, then let's configure first interface. So I'll come here conf t, then interface E0 by 0 IP address 12.1.1.1 and the subnet mask. Here you can type no shut or no shutdown. Do right to save the configuration because we are running this privilege mode command on global configuration mode, so you can use do. So configuration is saved, and now what I told you here, if you are writing here, so processes here. So processes, which type of process you want? You want to check the memory process, means the utilization of your RAM, or you want to see the CPU utilization. So you type here CPU. So see here, this is related to your so processor CPU. Okay, the utilization. So right now nothing is configured on this router. That's why you will see 00 something. But if something will be configured like routing, access list, or some kind of path manipulation or packet filtering, in that case you will see your router processes will increase. Now here if you will type here so memory, okay, see here so memory means this is your RAM detail, okay, RAM and processor detail, okay, but these are, for understanding this one, even I also don't understand. So I'm just showing you the command that, okay, with the help of these commands, see, these are virtualized, okay, that's why you're not getting the correct information. But if it is a real device, you will, when you will type the command, you will get the real detail, okay, but at least the command is working, so you will know the use of the command, okay. Now come to router 2. Now come here to conf t, then come here interface E0 by 0 IP address 12.1.1.2 and no shut save. Okay, so your configuration is saved. See, I used Control Z to exit directly and come to the moving from global configuration mode to privilege mode directly, and just type WR. WR means what? Tab. See, WR tab right means your router is automatically they will understand that, okay, what is the meaning of WR. Okay, now so okay, let's have some details, more details. So if I want to know something, so if you type here, see, we are on privilege mode. So I told you privilege mode is used to check and monitor. So I want to check the configuration of the router. Okay, so I'll type here, so running config. Okay, see here, the details of my router with the configuration that, okay, I have changed the name to R1. Okay, and then you'll see here I have changed the IP address, the basic configuration what I did right now. Okay, so this command show running configuration or show startup configuration will give you the configuration details of your router. And to save the router, we have multiple commands. Let me show you. This enable, I told you, when you type enable, you will move from your user mode to privilege mode. So flash will give you the your flash memory detail, means your operating system detail. Then so version will give you the your router iOS version detail. So IP interface brief will give you the interface IP details and the status of the interface. Ping is used for checking the communication from one device to another device. Then we have trace route command to trace the packet movement from source to destination. Then we have show running config and show startup config, means if the information is saved in the RAM, then you can use So so running config, but if the information is saved in your NVRAM, which is the permanent memory of your router, okay, then you can use so a startup config to get the configuration details of your router, means what you have configured in the router. Okay, so now we have some three commands you can say. Okay, uh, mm, now see this. Now so running config, sorry, copy running configuration to a startup configuration, which is used for helping you to save the configuration of the router. Okay, means when you want to save the configuration of the router and switch, you can write this command. But normally I was writing write will do the same thing instead of writing this long command. So if you want, you can write this one, or if you want to write the small one, you can just write. Okay, now erase a startup config. You can erase this configuration of the router. So let's see this practical to erase the configuration. So let's come here. I am on R1. So let's come here and change the host name manually. We have written host name camtel router 1 and do write. Let's see, it's we have saved, or I told you we can write this command, copy running configuration to a startup config. You can write this command or you can write command. Okay, now when you have saved it, and now if you want to erase it, so you can just normally type erase startup config. Do you want to remove all the configuration? Yes. Okay, and then type reload. And now you see when the device will reload, you will see the nothing will be there in your router. Okay, see it's coming like that. Same system configuration dialog. Say no. Then see here enable conf t. Okay, same it's now like the new router because you have erased all the configuration. And now if we'll type here, so running config, see nothing is there. The one what you have saved, no IP on the interface. Okay, nothing is there. Okay, so this is the basic configuration what we will be knowing day by day, the configuration of the routers. Okay, and let's end today till up to this basic IP configuration and erasing the configuration. And when we have class tomorrow, we will be knowing more about this basic configuration of the routers. Okay, if you have any doubt till now, you can ask.